Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to the Squid Junction. It is Ahmed, and I'm joined once again by a set.
Yo, we're headed into this next set, Tempest versus Nightmare. Two very dramatic names. So it's pretty interesting. And we're also headed into Zone's Hagglefish. I mean, what do you think of this?
Ooh, Zone's Hagglefish. That is one of the map changes they've made.
Yeah, we're in full-on poll mode. We're in the poll update. It's so funny. They just added polls everywhere. I mean, I think I like it. It's fun. Playing around the cover is always fun. But it's also like
It does make it a little bit more difficult to cap the zone now, because you have I think that projection in the middle is not inkable, so like it adds a little bit of cover to the zone as well as the players.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting change, to say the least. But I do believe we are going to be headed into this very, very soon. So yeah, I'm excited to see what we see. After the season patch, it's always really interesting to see what teams are running. After patches in general, it's fun to see the meta get shaken up.
There are new additions, some changes, and all that.
Ooh,
the crack controller, love it.
I have got to say, we've been seeing C-Jet a lot. This is the second time. So I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. And we are seeing double splash, but one of them is a Neo Splash. The world is healing. No more double Crab Tank. But both teams already have Crab Tank up very, very fast. And Nightmare is going to be able to potentially push in here. That 52 getting a very, very clean pick on that. Getting that straight out very, very quickly. Being able to force that. But we're going to see Tempest trying to find their way back in. I think the Kraken roller is so interesting to me as well. And we're going to see them potentially use their Kraken right here. And here it comes. It's always fun to see what people can do with this. A very good Kraken player is always fun to watch. But it does look like the Kraken roller is going to be the last one alive. But they are going to be able to get that pick there. Potentially getting two here. No, not managing to take a second one down with them. But that is going to make just a little bit more room for their team to get back in. But the timer is ticking here. The 52 gal has gone down though on Nightmare's side, so that could be Tempest's chance. The Crab Tank coming out. The C-Jet is going to get pressured by that machine. They're going to go down. Crab Tank is going to come out though. Tempest really needs to neutralize the zone and cap it here. And here's the Kraken coming out. Going to try to potentially get some picks here. But they actually haven't managed to cap it here. It's very, very close. They need to cap the zone right here, right now, or else this game is over for them. And it does look like they are going to lose the zone, but it's so close that I'm coming out, going to stall the zone for just a little bit longer. Why does this keep happening? And that is going to be the end of the game.
Nightmare just went full W key that whole match, using their fully aggro comp to go full aggro on them. Like, even with the flanking from the roller and the Kraken, they were still able to maintain control of the map and stay on top of that zone. Like, even we saw the Crab getting popped, the C-Jet coming out. They were way up in their business. They weren't letting them get anywhere near that zone to put some paint on it.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Yet another 0 to 100 KO. Yeah. Interesting to see.
We didn't get to see them utilize the new poll feature.
No poll. The poll didn't get used.
It was such a shame.
We are going to see this next match coming up. Tower Control, the poll mode itself, where the objective has actually just been a poll the entire time. No one has noticed. They've snuck it under our noses, but we're more the wiser now.
Should have seen it coming. It was there all along.
We know the wisdom of the poll.
But we're probably going to be seeing like that same aggro coming out from the side of Nightmare again, but will Tempest change it up to combat that, or will they bring some of the same? I don't see... C-Jet so far has been excellent for zones, or semi-excellent for zones, but I don't see it being used again for tower control.
Yeah, it's very interesting. In a lot of zones games, C-Jet has been picked. I've got to say, seeing that kit, I was not expecting C-Jet meta, but if I'm wrong, then that's pretty interesting. C-Jet is a kind of cool weapon. Definitely not as cool as some of the Splatoon 1 kits, but I think it has a role, and it does that role decently well. But that is a little bit scary because C-Jet being good is going to open up quad shooter meta. If that becomes meta, then quad shooter could become a viable comp, which is just a little bit scary.
It is so good at denying area, and that's kind of what you want for zones. But we'll see what they'll be rocking for this tower control on Sturgeon Shipyard. Bringing back the double splash and still rocking the Kraken roller. I'd love to see it.
Nobody has range. The machine is the longest range weapon in this lobby. That's really, really interesting. We're going to have to see if Tempest plays this. Do I think they're going to play this? I think that the roller having the beacon is going to be kind of useful for them here. Being able to use that beacon to kind of get behind them is going to really reduce the potency of the long-range pressure of Nightmare.
Oh yes, absolutely, and they are rocking a double crab as well, so being able to get in quickly and get behind them as well. There are so many good places to put a beacon on this map.
Yeah, this is a very strong beacon map, and here we're seeing Nightmare going 3 down, and it's just a splash. And you can see that all of Tempest is trying to force that wipe there, and they have managed to force that. And we're seeing this Kraken roller coming out. They do have a Kraken ready. The question is, are they going to use it? And here we see Trizuka coming out. And here comes the Kraken from the roller. We're going to see them trying to get some picks here. And they manage to get a pick on the machine. And you can see that they are forced to retreat to the grates. No, that is very, very unfortunate. The end lag caught them there. They tried to go onto the grates, but they were forced to stay in squid form, and they fell through. That is very unfortunate. But here we see the splatter shot coming out, trying to get that tri-strike, but it isn't going to get a lot of value here. And that is going to be a wipe on Tempest's part. Just the Kraken roller left to try to defend here.
They're definitely going to be shrugging somewhere, just trying to replenish those beacons. And we see them taking the flank on the side, but they weren't able to really capitalize on it too much. They are going to be taken down as Nightmare is moving into mid again.
Ooh, and here we see the splash going down. And oh my god, 3 people going down on Tempest's side. And it is just the last one that is going to be a wipeout. And a crab tank is already being set up maybe a little bit early inside of Tempest's spawn here.
Beacons are incredibly useful, but when you get into like such a competitive environment like this, you know they're going to be watching for it. They're going to be keeping track of where those beacons are and where members are going to be coming from, so you have to be incredibly careful with your flanks. We saw the Kraken getting called out underneath the bridge there, leading to the wipe, and now Nightmare, they're having them on the, they have Tempest on the back foot, just slowly pushing their way forward with just the Kraken remaining again.
Yeah, and you can see that the Kraken roller is very close to getting that Kraken. They almost fell off. But here we see the Kraken. Kraken on tower is an absolute menace, because you can just do that. You can just charge on the tower, and it's kind of broken.
They are not going to be moved anytime soon, but they are finally pushed off as their Kraken wears off. Just basically delaying time for their team to respawn, and they are going to be respawn at that, but are going to be taken down almost immediately. And we are back in the same situation they were before.
Yet again, it is just the Kraken roller, and they aren't going to be able to retake unless they can absolutely WM1 to the tower, clutching it at 2 points left. Just the crab tank going to have to defend for themselves here, but they do get taken out. That is an insane clutch from Red Shell's part.
The absolute mad lad with the Kraken roller just coming in, getting the 3-pointer, and able to just keep that tower from sliding into that KO is going to get them. They have no more checkpoints to go through, so they have to get the knockout in order to win this game, but they have no obstacles other than Nightmare standing between them and victory.
Yeah, and we do see that they have 3 specials at the ready, so they are not that, it isn't that unfeasible for them to take the lead here, especially with Nightmare going 2 down. This is going to be very good for them. That Kraken roller sitting on the tower, they are going to be able to pop that Kraken if they can get it, but no, they get taken out before they can do that. And that is the counterplay. 2 Kraken on tower, taking out the Kraken user before they can even stand on it. It's similar to Big Bubbler, except the Big Bubbler doesn't let you jump onto the tower with it. I do think it is kind of... It's similar to Big Bubbler. I think people are it is definitely scary, but I don't think it's something that we're not used to. A special that can really just force control of tower, especially with Tri-Strike being the way it is, for being in the other direction. I enjoy the fact that there's now another GG special for the aggressive side, and that Kraken roller is not quite going to be able to get that Kraken before they get taken out, and Tempest is going to go 1 down. They really have to make a push very quickly here. They have 2 crab tanks at the ready. No, that is 1 crab tank and 1 Tri-Strike. going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Several specials are online. We see that Zuka ready to counter the crab, and the crab does get popped off the right side.
Ooh.
You're going to have to watch the flank, but they are getting to the last 20 seconds, and they are not on tower. They're going to have to stay alive long enough to stay the tower, but that's going to be 2 down from the splash, with just the splash remaining, and that also is going to be taken down. Splash shot is jumping in. 2 seconds. No, I'm sorry, 8 seconds. Everyone is jumping in. They're going to try to cap the tower. See several beacons in place, but it's getting down to the wire as we head into overtime.
Ooh, the Crack on Roller going down there is really not good for them. Booyah Bomb coming out. It's going to land a little bit behind tower, but they're still going to be juked to get off of it because you have to kind of move there. I did think that game we did see, there was this one point in the game, I wasn't able to point it out, but we did see 2 crab tanks getting popped at the same time, and one single Trizuka made very quick work of both of them. I think that is definitely the main buff that is going to be bad for Crab Tank. I think Trizuka is actually in a very good spot. Running Object Shredder is going to be actually really good on it. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we'd see some more stuff like Squeezer too.
Yeah, we saw it being used a lot in like the very early bit of the game, but then it kind of got edged out by the splash. But now that, as you said, the buff came in, it is making a return. Just 1 Zuka versus 2 Crab, it is no problem.
Yes, indeed. And we are going into Game 3. This is match point in Nightmare's favor. So Tempest is backed up completely against the wall right now. We're going to have to see if they choose to change up their strategies or they stick with what they're going with. If we do see it's anyone's game still. These games have been very close. But I do think Tempest comps could use just a little bit of work. I think the Crack on Roller is a very interesting pick, but I'm not sure if they're not getting a lot of value out of it. The Kraken Roller isn't managing to stay alive long enough to actually get those Krakens in the first place. So I think that is Nightmare having very good counterplay around the Kraken Roller. So Tempest is going to have to develop a counterplay to that counterplay. Maybe having their roller play just a little bit more safe, or having people play a little closer to their roller. Or maybe capitalizing off of the aggression that Nightmare is being forced into when the Kraken Roller is close to their special. There's a lot of counterplay you can do here.
Yes, if they're able to, I guess, adjust and improve, there's certainly a lot of value to be had for Kraken in Clambliss. We've seen it as like this pseudo bubbler so far, is like a very small, just a protective barrier, and as for jumping in, it is the living beacon for when you're trying to get into the basket.
Yes, indeed. It's very, very good. It reminds me of Splatoon 2 Baller, except this Baller can bite.
Incredibly dangerous.
But we are headed straight into the next round. We're going to have to see if they change up their comps here at all. Red Shell is back on the Octobrush, which I think is a fairly good play here. And we are seeing... we're seeing Nightmare running Machine and 3 shooters. Very close range comps on both sides yet again. Not a backline to be found. And we are going to see Nightmare's 52 will go down right off the bat, but so does Tempest. And here we see a Crab Tank coming out from Tempest as well. And it's going to be able to get a lot of value, especially with that brush. That brush is going to try to cut off the machine's escape route, and they are going to be able to do that successfully. They have a Zipcaster at the ready, and they also have that ball. If they are potentially going to be able to use the Zipcaster here to try and disrupt a lot of things.
It looks like they're going to be trying to like pass off the ball before they do that, though, because they're not going to be able to utilize it while they're in their zip caster. But with 3 members down, they're not really going to need it. They're just going to walk right in and take over the basket. That brush is certainly putting on the pressure. Like, both teams have opted to bring out the 52, but with the brush addition, it is incredibly strong on MakoMart just because of how it can utilize the elevations and the different ledges.
Yes, indeed, but it does look like that is going to be the end of Tempest's push. But they aren't... They tried to pop that killer whale, but actually didn't quite work out. They just managed to... They didn't quite get it out before they went down, which is very unfortunate for them. That is going to give Nightmare a lot of room to breathe. But there is a splash behind them right now, but they do manage to take that splash out.
This is once again a firefight. We see the 52 able to utilize this wall to take in the 1v2, but it is not going to work out for them. Tempest is once again 2 members down. Honestly, Nightmare, they have a lot of control, a lot of paint, but all they have is the Pity Clam, the Power Clam coming in. Not a whole lot of other clams to back it up. We'll see if they're able to bring out a couple of clams. They are so close to that lead. Just another one to pop in, but Tempest is slowly locking it back down. They're not going to let them get that clam in.
Yeah, that is very good defense here, but now it is tied up. Whoever gets the next push gets the lead. So neither team can play comfortably here, especially because there's an entire 3 minutes left in this game. Even a single ball will get the lead for them. So they really can't play this safe. They still have to keep trying to push here. But so many deaths are happening. Just all around, both teams have gone down a lot. Lots of aggression happening here. And here we see Tempest getting in a ball with that 52 gal. But we're seeing this splash starting to try and get their way in, but it doesn't quite work out. They might try to get this ball in here, but no, it doesn't quite work out. So that is going to be a very, very small push coming out from Tempest yet again. Very good defense from Nightmare. That Briabon is going to come out, try and stall things out, but it is 2-on-2 yet again, and that basket is ripe and ready for that clam ball to be put in there yet again. And here we see the 52 gal popping their whale, trying to make some space, but they do go down in the process. And it's clear that Tempest has decided not to push just quite yet. But that Bresh is taking that ball, and they are potentially going to try and score it here. Briabom coming out. Bresh manages to score the ball in here for yet another push. That Zipkaiser's coming out as well. Lots of clams are on the field right now, but not a lot are in Tempest's hands. They need to go back to try and collect them here. And here we see the splash does have 6 clams. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get them in time. And here we see them rotating, and they are going to be able to score that. And that is going to bring the points down very, very low, all the way down to nearly the single digits. And it is still 3-3. That is advantage for Nightmare. But they have gone down yet again, but Tempest wasn't able to go back and get those clams quite in time.
I was starting to get a little concerned that they were putting on the pressure, but they were leaving the basket pretty much unattended. Not too many clams were going in, but then suddenly just an influx of clams just completely lowered that score way down to 10. And with what they just the amount of pressure they put on in that stretch, Nightmare is really gonna have to work to bring that back. We've seen the 52s in action, just with the splash roll, just picking fights that other weapons would normally avoid, just absolutely wreaking havoc.
They are in there, and they are out of there. Popping that killer whale, they're going to try and get a lot of value here. Ooh, the Bresh is going to go for a very good flank, though. And here we see them trying to just pressure some stuff as well, but they do go down. This is not looking very good for Tempest. They do have a very strong lead right now. But they are also 2 down, and Nightmare has some very, very strong control of the basket. That's 1 ball in. That's Briabom coming out, potentially another ball in as well. It's going to be down to 43. Not a lot of clams needed to get it in right here, and it's just the splash left to defend. This is very, very bad. The score is slowly dwindling. Only 2 more clams, 1 more clam needed. But they are out of clams. It's just that T-Tech, and they are going to be able to get that clam in for the clean 3-0 sweep.
Wow, Tempest was so close to bringing that back. They had such a huge play earlier on, but then just the 3 down really cost them in the end there. It is the one member of Nightmare staying alive long enough to get those clams in, just solidify that victory for them.
Yes, indeed. And that is going to be the end of the set. A clean 3-0 sweep from Nightmare. Very well played by both teams. All of those games were very, very close, but Nightmare was just able to barely edge it out all of those times. Very, very good set there. But we are going to go on a quick break. Don't forget about that big announcement coming after Grand Finals. So don't go anywhere, because we are going to be right back.
Splatoon Stronghold. A stronghold for competitive Splatoon, providing resources to long-timers and newcomers alike. If you're new to the competitive scene or still figuring out how to join, we have a getting started guide and plenty of other resources to help you in your journey. If you're a seasoned veteran, we still have plenty to offer. You can find and request recordings of scrims as well as participate in our captain forums and find free agents and teams. Our mission is to make competitive Splatoon easily accessible to everyone. So what are you waiting for? Join the Splatoon Stronghold today.